Previously on the Great Ace Attorney Adventures.
The turbulence of that era was just the beginning of an extraordinary story.
Isn't that me? Isn't that my character? Oh, am I gonna be the defendant in the first case? I would like to inform the court that I, Ryunosuke Naruhodo, will be defending myself. So I went over to the professor's table and introduced myself to Dr. Wilson. When I went over to Dr. Wilson to say hello, there was a woman sitting opposite him at this table. It would seem so. Okay, just before the incident, he'd had a bad tooth removed. When the incident occurred, we know the victim couldn't have been eating anything. Yet we have evidence of a half-eaten steak on his table. Therefore, the only logical conclusion is that there was somebody else there eating it. What? The waiter is a police detective? Remove the English woman from the scene at once. Why though? It was made clear that the English woman's presence at the restaurant was to be concealed. You will locate this Jezaille Bret and escort her to the courtroom with the utmost urgency.
And now back to the... I don't let go of my mustache.
What's up everybody, I'm Jack Marr and welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be continuing with the Great Ace Attorney Adventures. I'm excited to be back into it. In the last episode we started our adventure with Ryuhodo. I'll try and remember the names as best I can. We are on trial for the murder of our professor. Already doing a bad job because I'm blanking out on his name. Wilson. And yeah, Kazuma, our friend Kazuma was supposed to be our defense, but we decided to take on our defense ourselves. And now here we are in court trying to defend our innocence. So in the last episode, we had to question some witnesses, a butler and two other guys who were just, eating, a general, I don't know if he's a general, but like a army guy, and some old man. And there was a third party sitting at the table with Wilson where he was murdered, a British woman, a student, and all the other witnesses are claiming they didn't see her, but we have found out that is a lie. A lie. So we're gonna figure out what's going on there. We're gonna call her as a witness. So that'll be fun. Got my first long-term girl voice. I did a couple lines for that other girl who I think will be a bigger part of the main game. But yeah, I'm really enjoying the game. It's a lot of fun. And I can't wait to see what happens. Okay, enough talk. Let's get back into the game. Part 2 of our first trial. So here we are. Load it up. So the 22nd November, 11:38 a.m. Supreme Court of Judicature. Defendant Antechamber 5. Excellent work, Ryunosuke. That was superb. Yeah, I think I'm just doing the... I'm officially sticking with the more like Britishy kind of deadpanish voice, whatever you want to call it, for this guy. I like how it sounded. Ugh, my heart was in my mouth the entire time. It was almost unbelievable. I mean, looking at you in there, you were drenched in sweat, your eyes popping, your knees knocking, and you were grinding your teeth. All those things. You were a mess, Ryunosuke. It was a grim sight, but before I knew it, you started finding inconsistencies in the testimonies. You know what's one thing I just remembered? I should be paying attention to the names, more carefully, because they've always been punny. I just kind of remembered that. I don't know if I've noticed any that stood out yet, but you know what? I kind of want to check the court record really quick anyway, and go over like the people, at least the new people. Kazuma Asagi, Yujin Mikotoba, Takatsuchi Aoki, John H. Wilson, Iesa Nosa. Yeah, none of these strike me as punny, I don't know. But anyway, he's a sergeant. An army sergeant of the Empire of Japan who witnessed the incident. He's 38, this guy's 67. Oh, he's only 67? He looks older than that. the owner of Rasute, who was hunting for a lost Hoei-era gold Koban coin at the time of the incident. I think we already read this guy. The head waiter of the European-style restaurant La Carnaval. He was serving there on the day of the incident. Okay, they didn't update that to say, like, he's, you know, he's a police chief, which I didn't mention, but yeah, in my recap. But yeah, we found out that they were lying, these two were lying on his orders, because he's actually an undercover, he works with the police. So, that's a thing. Okay. And I think I extensively looked at the, the evidence already. It was a grim sight, but before you knew it, you started finding inconsistencies in the testimonies. I think you might have a natural talent for being a lawyer. Forget it, it's terrifying. If I get through this, I don't ever want to see the inside of a courtroom again. I wouldn't, if I was on trial for murder. Anyway, it looks like we've exposed your phantom lady at last. Miss Jezaille Bret. I could see that maybe being a pun, like Brett maybe for Brit, but I don't know how to pronounce this name, so I might be pronouncing it completely wrong. A student from Great Britain, is she? That's what I was trying to tell everyone from the start. Dr. Wilson wasn't alone. There was a young woman with him, like I've been saying all along. Yes, you have, haven't you? I might not be overly confident in the courtroom, but my powers of observation are one thing I am sure of. Yes, I can see that. So, about this young gentlewoman. Thanks to our detective friend, she has hastily escorted away from the scene, it seems. Okay, we haven't actually met her yet. We've just been hearing about her. Did you see what happened with that? No, I didn't see any of it. There I am with the gun. I was just on my way out of the restaurant myself, then on the floor next to Dr. Wilson's table, I noticed there was a gun lying on the floor, and just after I bent down and picked it up, bang! I didn't have time to think about where the sound of the gunshot had come from. The waiter ran over to me, looking as white as a sheet, and was the woman there still? I'm assuming not. And he bundled me into some sort of small pantry next to the kitchen. Fast thinking by the detective, he apprehended his suspect without a moment's delay. Yes, and because I was shut in the pantry, I have no idea what happened outside in the dining area. Okay, interesting. That's new information. Ah, there you are. Well done, both of you. This guy, yeah, this guy. And his daughter? I don't know if we got confirmation on that. Professor Mikutoba. Well, it seems I was right. The pair of you make an outstanding team. You've exceeded my expectations, I have to say. Yeah, so somewhere around there is a bit more in my range than the really gruffly voice I was trying to do. Yes, it seems you planned this from the start. You arranged things so that I wouldn't be able to act as a lawyer in this trial. Our modern country is still in its infancy. Our justice system even more so. Which is why I firmly believe that we need to send our brightest young stars overseas to learn all they can. I wanted to avoid a situation that may have resulted in your study tour of Great Britain being cancelled. Yeah. So if you defended me and he lost, he wouldn't be able to go to the this law university. So that's why this guy asked me to defend myself. Lawyer, otherwise if I'm the kind of man who can't help his best friend avert the worst crisis of his life, I shouldn't waste everyone's time by going to study overseas anyway. What? What are you saying, Kazuma? I mean, you'd be learning. It's a university, so you know, you can become a better lawyer. So that's your stance. I was afraid you'd feel that way. Kazuma! Well then, it looks like it all comes down to you, young man. To me? Yes, you need to prove your innocence and uncover what really took place in that restaurant. I must say I very much want to know the truth. After all, I have a personal connection to this case. Come to think of it, he said the same thing earlier this morning, didn't he? If you don't mind me asking, Professor, did you know the victim? It sounds like it. It sounds like it's a personal stake in this. Yes, I did. As you're probably aware, Dr. John H. Wilson was a visiting professor at UMA. And it was I who invited him. Oh, I see. I didn't know that before. Anyway, you're about to go into battle. The victim was a university professor from Great Britain, and a well-known one at that. Naturally, our government is looking to identify and punish the culprit as quickly as possible. But let's not forget who we're going up against. The gentlewoman whose involvement our police bureau went to extraordinary lengths to hide. So, there's kind of, they don't want to sour their relation, like Japan's relations with Great Britain by arresting a British woman. But I think that there must be more to her. I said in the last episode, like, if she was just some random British student here overseas, I don't know that they'd go to such lengths to protect her. So I find that hard to believe that she's just some British student visiting. And then we still don't know anything behind the motivations, of course, or anything like that. Like why she met with the other professor, obviously why she killed him. I said maybe she's like an international spy and she was sent here to kill him for some reason or another. That'll come in due time. Huh? Yes, and I'm sure the prosecution will be using every tool at their disposal to quash your case. But I've no doubt that your pair will put up a good fight, right to the last. Best of luck. Thank you, sir. Now then. I need you to run an errand at the university at once. There's something I think we may need. Of course. Good luck, Kazuma-san. Defendant Naruhodo, court recess is over. Please make your way back inside the courtroom at once. It's time. Let's get back to it, partner. Let's go in there and deal a decisive blow before those old fossils know what's hit them. Yeah, let's do it. Me and Kazuma together for a little while anyway. I wonder if he'll join us like in the main game or if we won't see him again. I always worry about my mentors because I feel like they die a lot. Kazuma, hopefully he doesn't die or something before the end of this trial. Or by the next case, I mean. What? Thank you. Really? What for? Well, if you hadn't said you believed me, then I'm fairly sure I'd already have been found guilty by now. Look, I have faith in you. As a lawyer, and as a friend. Coming from you, that means a lot. If I'm found guilty in this trial, he's really going to give up on his dream of studying abroad. That's the kind of true friend he is. So this isn't just my battle anymore. Whoever we're up against, we absolutely cannot afford to lose. Alright then. I'll save the thank yous for after the trial. You can treat me to one of those sukiyaki meals I like from Yume Cafeteria on University Street. You've got a deal. With an extra large portion, of course. Yeah. 22nd November, 12:09 p.m. Supreme Court of Judicature. Courtroom 2. Blah, blah, blah. The court hereby resumes the trial of Ryunosuke Naruhodo. Prosecutor Aoki, have you managed to subpoena the witness? Ouchie. Ugh, I'm gonna stick with Ouchie. Yes, Your Excellency, against all odds. And thanks to a certain young stripling, the prosecution is now under rather painful scrutiny from the government. I really like doing his voice, so it's kind of a shame that he'll be gone after this trial. He's our protagonist, our tutorial prosecutor. I'm excited to meet the new one, though, for this game. The actual prosecutor. I hope I have more chances to use the voice, though, or at least a similar voice. Sorry. Let the government scrutinize. That's their job. It's nothing to worry about. Yeah, screw the government. It's highly unlikely that the good relations we forged with Great Britain will emerge from this trial unscathed. Yeah. Not if we pursue the truth. will you still think it's nothing to worry about when the new treaty breaks and our nation founders? Again, terribly sorry. You got a lot riding on this. If the friendship between our nations is really so fragile, then the treaty isn't worth the paper it's written on. You really have nothing to worry about, Ryunosuke. What do you... Oh my gosh. What do you mean? My voice cracked. A secret trial, anxiety over some foreign government opinions, a bungled investigation, missing witnesses. Is this what our nation's justice system is? Is this the Supreme Court of Japan or of England? Shut up! Shut up, you jumped-up rookie boy! You and your friend know nothing! Nothing of the situation our nation finds itself in. Oh, he's sweating. I mean, he's a prosecutor. He works for the government, so he's obviously got a stake in this. By aligning ourselves with this great world power, we'll become strong. Diplomacy has never been more critical. Steady political maneuvering is what will secure our futures. I won't deny that I'm no expert. I'm just a student, and one who could arguably study harder too. But standing here now in our Supreme Court, there's one thing that I feel very strongly. A country that fails to uphold the truth in its justice system is a country with no future at all. Well said, Ryunosuke, well said. As a, so I think he's supposed to be an ancestor of Phoenix, right? So if that's true, then he's doing a good job. Paving the way. Whoa! Well said, Ryunosuke. Despite the wide-eyed look of terror. You little brats! Thank you, Counsel. Shut up, now. This court is in the pinnacle of our nation's justice system, and exists solely for the pursuance of truth. With that in mind, this trial will now resume with the next witness taking the stand. The visiting student from Great Britain, Miss Jezaille Bret. I get so nervous when we get a new student, though. Yes. Your Excellency! Okay, what do you look like? Oh, hello there. Very dolled up. Ooh. Interesting attire, madam. Well, what a delight it is to welcome such a fine gentlewoman of Japan. And from such a distant land. Oh, to Japan. I think I said from Japan. Yeah, she's British. We already established that. Tea! Someone bring English tea! In England, no discussion takes place without tea. I am simping hard. Is that true? No idea. Just go along with it. So, ahem. Could we possibly trouble you to state your name and occupation for the court? Of course. So his voice, this butler guy's voice might blend a little bit with my Cosmo voice, but I don't care. There's gonna be some crossover. Of course, my name is Satoru Hosonaga. You doing the anime glasses thing. Oh, dang it. Is there a way to check the history? I've been working undercover as the head waiter at Le Carnival, but my true... Yes, we know about you already. Inspector Hosonaga, where are your manners? In England, it's always ladies first. Yeah. Is that true? No idea. These bumbling buffoons. More importantly, a little earlier today, you said something to me. You said your powers of observation are the thing you're sure of. Oh, yes. I think I did, didn't I? Yet your description of this amazing sight was simply a woman. Yeah, really. You could have been a little bit more specific, especially if she was dressed like that. Sorry, Ryunosuke, but powers of observation aside, your powers of description are surely lacking. Guilty. So, dear lady, once again, if we may trouble you for your name and occupation, please. She's very mysterious. Ooh. Blah, 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 blah. So I guess the point is she can't speak Japanese. Because we're technically speaking Japanese, right? So that's the that's the game where just like she's blah 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 something 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 in English. I wonder if in the original game they actually have her speaking English. Maybe. I don't know. I'm terribly sorry, dear lady, but... What? Come again? Oh, is he gonna interpret for her? Yes, okay. Got it. The lady says her name is Jezaille Bret. She comes from London, England. Oh, thank goodness, I might not have to voice her. Unless she's lying and she can actually speak fluent Japanese and she's playing an act. She's a visiting research student, currently enrolled in Yume University's medical faculty. Oh my, what a rare treat to hear the dulcet tones of the delightful languages of British people. I'm afraid I don't understand a word you said, but it was as beautiful as a hummingbird's song. As far as I can tell. The detective is translating her words faithfully enough. Yes, I agree. I don't know how we know that, but we'll go along with it. You'll obviously do fine in England, Kazuma. English doesn't rattle you at all, does it? Nor you. You've clearly been paying attention in your English classes, Ryunosuke. The court thanks the beautiful lady for taking the stand. Now, if we may trouble you to confirm something, Miss Bret. I don't know why I said it like that. Bret? 3 days ago, at a restaurant called Le Carnaval, a grim murder took place. Sorry. The court has been led to believe that you were dining there with the victim, Dr. Wilson, at the time. Is that correct? This is gonna take a while if we have to do this every time. She says yes. This could take some time. Yeah, exactly. I'm like, oh gosh, this is gonna be fun. So even though she's studying here in Japan, she can't speak any Japanese. She'd like to apologize for disappearing from the scene. She said that she was due to make a presentation at the university, so she had to leave immediately. Sure. Yeah, gunshot goes off and she's like, oh, well, will you look at the time? Got to go. Interesting. When you're the one who engineered her escape. I was just following special orders from the Bureau. Well now, dear lady, would you be so kind as to cast your eyes over this photographic print? Seeing as you were so unfortunately present at the scene of the crime, could it be that your resplendent eyes caught sight of the wicked perpetrator, perhaps? Apparently it was a very frightening and sorrowful sight. Do you mean to say? Yes, it would appear the lady did witness the crime. And just ran away because she was in a hurry or something. Just don't worry about it. The very moment when the accused, standing right there in this courtroom, shot the victim in cold blood. Okay, so we already know that he was, that this butler guy, Hosonaga, was lying and was telling the other two witnesses not to say anything about it. Why would we suspect him? Especially since he's doing the translating for her. Why on earth would we? I mean, I know he kind of already said, that he's more about justice and that he's willing to help us, but still. He's obviously not. Did I say that? She shot the victim in cold blood. What a fancy dress. Order. Order in court. Did you hear that, Your Excellency? Here we have an absolutely conclusive witness statement. Indeed. Well, it looks like it's clear now. Clear who our real enemy is. Huh? Come again? Unfortunately, I will have to ask you to formally testify if you please. Kindly tell the court the exact nature of this frightening and sorrowful sight you described. Whisper, 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 whisper? Okay, she's in. Witness testimony. A frightening and sorrowful sight. Okay. What do you got for us? I'd arranged to meet for a slightly late luncheon with Dr. Wilson that day. The professor wasn't able to eat, so I ordered for myself only, a beef steak. Okay, checks out so far. After a while, the accused came over to greet the professor, and they got into a fierce argument. Okay. So an argument ensued. Then, not long afterwards, the accused took the professor's gun and shot him right before my eyes. Okay, that's very much in contrast to what we said. We each went over to say hi and everything. We were very friendly. I don't carry a gun myself, so obviously I couldn't have been the culprit.
Yes!
This is a condemning testimony. No, I didn't have any argument with the professor at all.
Objection!
Objection! Quiet, you filthy wretch! Look at you, you black-hearted blackguard! And look at this snow-white angel. I'm sure even a dark-minded scoundrel like you can imagine whose words the court is going to believe. Ah, you're right. You're still making the same mistakes, Ryunosuke. You mustn't blurt out when you're goaded like that. That's a lesson you need to learn. Ugh, he's so annoying. Of course I was at the scene as well. I took statement from this lady and the two witnesses who testified before, and reported back to the Bureau. It was decided that Miss Bret was not involved, so I let her go. Sure. The testimonies of the last two witnesses were completely worthless, however. Well, even so, on the day in question, the lady was wearing the same outfit as she is today. As you can see, there's nowhere about her person where she could conceal a firearm. There's the hat! That hat is huge. And what does she have, like, did she clean it? Or does she have, like, I could just see her having, like, that exact house costume, like, 10 of them in her closet. I would think she could hide a gun almost anywhere in that outfit if she wanted to. I was gonna say, it's gaudy enough and giant skirt. I think so. Unless and until the precise location where the witness is to have hidden a weapon can be shown, this is moot. There are no pockets in my outfit. I have nowhere to hide a gun. Those are the witness's own words on the matter. Ugh, that's ridiculous. If only I was allowed to lift up her dress, I could prove it. Don't do that if you want to get arrested for a completely different reason. Don't think about doing anything rash, Ryunosuke. If I didn't find the gun I picked up, there must have been another gun there that day. You're right about that, which means this lady was hiding a gun somewhere. Yes, that's what we have to prove now. And to do so, we will need to pull her testimony apart. Look at your smug face. The defense may now cross-examine the witness. Oh, yes, Your Excellency. A frightening and sorrowful sight. Okay, so let's see. So I think if we have to pick it apart, then we probably need to press. Okay. Sorry, what am I saying? Only beefsteak. So that checks out. I'm gonna press her on this and yeah. I wanna know what I wanna know about this argument, quote unquote, that you say we had.
Yes!
Okay, so I think what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna, if I know, I'm not gonna just needlessly press or whatever, because it'll needlessly make the videos longer and blah blah blah. So I'm gonna press if I need to and whatever, but I'm gonna try and just, if I see something immediately that I can like present or whatever, I'm just gonna do it. But in this case, I think we have to press for information. So I'm gonna first choose the ones I want to press that I think will actually get me information. I never got into an argument with the professor. All I did when I noticed him was go over to say hello. Please, don't get angry with me. No, I wasn't directing that retort at you. It was meant for the lady next to you. Oh, there we go. The other hand slams or whatever, dust slams were pathetic. He's getting the hang of it, my boy. But anyway, as I said, I did not argue with the professor. I'm afraid your words are in vain. Sorry? Miss Bret does not appear to speak Japanese. No, of course not. Japanese is such a cumbersome language anyway. English is the future. We must all supiku Ingurishu. Yes, I know what I'm saying. Oh, wait. Was that supposed to be him saying speak English? I didn't know what he was saying. Oh yeah, I think that's supposed to be like speak English, maybe? But that was supposed to be his Japanese pronunciation. I wonder if the prosecution will feel that way forever, if only in the presence of a beautiful woman, Well, that beautiful woman is telling blatant lies with a completely straight face. I will get to the bottom of this. I have to find something that will unravel her testimony, no matter how seemingly insignificant it may be. Anyway, it seems that after the argument, the accused briefly returned to his own seat. That part ties in with what you said, doesn't it? Yes, I still had some coffee to drink. And the next time you got up after that was when I finished my coffee and stood up to leave. Don't give me that look. Okay, so we didn't really glean anything. Okay, then not long afterwards, the accused took the professor's gun and shot him right before my eyes. Do tell.
Yes!
Do tell. Like I said, I did not shoot that gun. And like I said, there's no point in repeating the assertion over and over. Yeah, my bad. Well, I wasn't expecting to be attacked by my own side. Nevertheless, defendant, you can't deny that when the shot rang out in the restaurant, you had a gun in your hand. Well, yes, that's true, but shut up. Oh, there we go. There was the pathetic hand slam again. All I did was pick up the gun I saw on the floor next to the professor as I was leaving the restaurant. In fact, yes, there was someone much closer to the victim than me at the time. The highly suspicious lady and blah blah blah. That will do, you dirty rotten scoundrel. Dirty? I shower regularly. Your baseless accusation could very well cause an internal incident, boy. It seems to me that your accusation is just as baseless as ours. What nonsense! The lady is merely stating what she saw. And this is already an international incident as far as I'm concerned anyway. Okay. Okay, let's do it. Let's press this. It's all very well saying that, but can you prove it? That's right, we're trying to prove this point. Absolutely. I verified it personally. You verified it? The guy who's covering up for her, or who had been covering up these incidents, verified it? Yes. Immediately after the incident, I checked to make sure the lady was not carrying a weapon. I distinctly remember her saying, "I'm not." Okay, case shut. Case closed. Well done, Mr. Police Chief, or police whatever you are. That's all you did? You just asked her? He's good at his job. Surely you carried out a physical search, Inspector? No. I didn't think of that, to be honest. Why on earth not? Come on now, man. The Honorable English Gentlewoman clearly stated that she did not possess a weapon. There was obviously no need for any further probing into the matter. I think there was, or there was no permission given for any further probing into the matter, perhaps. Think what you will, but if you're going to continue with this preposterous claim that the refined lady was concealing a firearm, the prosecution demands they support your assertion with facts. In other words, he wants evidence. Ugh. Evidence, evidence, evidence. What is this, a court of... Oh, yeah. Right. The lady wishes to point out that, of course, she wanted to stay and assist with the investigation. But she had an emergency. But she was in a hurry to give a presentation at the university, so she was compelled to leave. Oh, look at that. She gave that little smile there. Not to mention the fact that our office had told you to get the woman out of there. Not get her out of there. I just urged her to leave. The lady would like to point out that she in no way meant to run away from the scene of the crime. Which is why she's only too happy to cooperate and testify here in court today, of course. Uh-huh. Unlike a certain student who refuses to admit when the game is up. Throwing this at me, are you? You could at least have the courtesy to pay attention when I'm goading you. Don't give in, Phoenix. Not Phoenix, sorry. Old habits. Ryohodo. So she's maintaining that you got into an argument with the professor, at the end of which you shot him. Which is an out-and-out, totally unfounded lie. Still, her statement is very compelling. After all, she's an elegant, refined, young and beautiful gentlewoman from Great Britain. She has them by the balls. In stark contrast to you, dressed from head to toe in a dull black school uniform. I'm dressed exactly the same way as you are, except for the flapping red ribbons. Yes, but I'm cool. Well, anyway, this is our only chance to expose her testimony as the fiction that it is. If we can't do that, the trial's over. Even you, with your thick skin, must be able to feel the murderous looks you're getting from around the room. Only too well. I feel half dead already. And the fact that I can't see a single inconsistency in her testimony isn't making me feel any better either. The first thing to do is press her of any of her statements that seem even slightly off to you. That's what I've been doing. Do that, and an opening will present itself, I promise you. I need to expose the true face of this exotic foreigner that's hiding behind the mask. That's what I should be aiming for in this cross-examination. Okay? So I guess we'll go back and press the first 2 points. So, okay, we'll just start with this one then.
Yes!
After 2 p.m., in fact. That's really quite a late lunch, isn't it?
Objection!
Indeed. You don't keep up with the latest fashions from Britain, do you? Late luncheons are en vogue. Isn't that right? En vogue? In vogue. Isn't that right? Sure. No. Okay, she knew enough to say that. A decisive English no has quite a sting to it. The gentlewoman is currently working in the victim's research laboratory, it seems. So it is apparently a daily occurrence that they would lunch together. But on the day in question, the victim had another appointment at the clinic first. Yes, which you can prove from the medical report card that was submitted as evidence earlier. That's right. Miss Bret and the victim went to lunch following the victim's treatment, which is why it was so late. Okay. Yes, that all makes perfect sense. Such wonderful logic. What a shining example of English intelligence this fine gentlewoman is. So you both arrived at the restaurant. What happened next? Okay. This is the last, I think the last statement. Unable to eat? Yes, and we know that to be true.
Yes!
Yes! He was unable to eat, you say. And that was because he just had a tooth removed at Hotel Clinic, correct? That's right. You're supposed to actually check with the witness before answering. Yeah, right. She said yes, you just didn't hear her. Was Miss Bret aware of that fact? There we go. It seems so, yes. She'd heard that the professor was to have some dental treatment. I like a lot of the subtle humor in this, like, there's always this very humorous little, like, quips, like, I like how this guy's not even trying to hide how impartial he is. I wonder if we'll get more confirmation about that army sergeant and the baby. But that's about it. I guess the point is maybe he's just the father. Like maybe he just brought his kid along with him. So that would mean... But it gives him so much character, you know? That it was you who ate the steak pictured here. Is that right, Miss Bret? That's right, yes. The print you have there shows the table exactly as it was left after the horrifying events. Exactly as it was left. Dear me, what a harrowing experience. To have traveled to a distant land on the far side of the world and be embroiled in such a tragic incident. Have no fear, my dear lady. I swear I will crush the evil fiend that has subjected you to this terrible plight. So the victim, Dr. Wilson, had nothing to eat or drink at all. That's right, other than some carbonated water. Just water? Yes, The professor was unable to eat, but he had been given permission to drink water. Hold the phone. I see a bottle there. I'm assuming that's like wine or something. There's a vase which might have water, but there's no evidence that there's water on the table. So it appears that the diners toasted their lunch with a glass of water each. Okay, well either way, there's whatever she had in her glass there. There was no water. They each raised a glass of carbonated water. What do you think, Ryunosuke? About the witness's last statement? It's full of crap. It's very meaningful, I think. That last statement of yours, Miss Bret, has a profound bearing on this case. Well, well, how fascinating. Do tell us what is this profound bearing, I don't know. The significance of the statement will become apparent when the time is right. The defense calls for the witness's last statement to be formally added to the testimony. Don't know if I can do that since I'm technically not the defense, but whatever. Humph. Well, sidestepped counsel. Very well. Miss Bret, kindly repeat what you just said to be added to your official testimony. Gladly, she said. Hee hee. That was brilliant, Kazuma. I'm going to remember that one. Which one? The significance will become apparent when the time is right. I could really use that phrase. I'd hope there are some more useful tips you're picking up from this experience than that, Ryunosuke. Okay, so what is it? I ordered a beef steak for myself, and the professor and I said cheers over a glass of carbonated water. Okay, so I think all we gotta do is... Yeah, I mean, I think all we gotta do then is just present this. There's only one glass on the table.
Yes!
Yes! Objection! That's it! Let me just confirm something, please. It's to do with this photographic print. Which looks a lot like a photograph. I mean, I guess that's technically what it is. It's like the old-timey photograph. Just a short while ago, you spoke of this print showing the victim's table at the crime scene. That it was exactly as it was left. Yes, 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 that is correct. Yes, yes, yes. That is correct, the lady says. Well, it's odd. Very odd. Dear me, what's odd is the defense's inability to express itself. Ugh, shut up, Mr. Prosecutor. Ryunosuke, what is it about the print that looks odd to you? Well, obviously, it's the Cheers. I love that show. The Cheers? Miss Bret just told us that she and the professor said cheers over a glass of water. But if that's true, there should be 2 glasses on the table, not 1. Ah! You're quite right, counsel. There's only 1 glass pictured here.
Objection!
Are we supposed to be impressed by this nitpicking over minutiae? What possible difference does the presence or absence of a glass make on the case?
Objection!
It's an inconsistency at best. We gotta pursue it. Minutiae, you say? Could it be that the detective here removed a glass from the table to conceal the lady's presence? Of course not. I would never do something so reckless. It seems likely to me, but there should have been 2 glasses on the table. Or are you going to try to tell me you can clink with only 1? I don't think so. You're quite right. I certainly took 2 glasses to the table. Do you have something to say, Miss Bret? Inspector, what did the lady say? It would seem that it was Miss Bret who took the glass from the table. What? It was all so terrifying, everything that happened. I panicked and thought I should try to hide the fact that I'd been there at all, she's saying. Yeah, this is not the type of thing somebody who's just a witness at a crime scene would do. Good gracious! Come on now! Sorry! Oh my gosh. Sorry. There, as I assured the court before, this is of no consequence at all. Oh, please. We must remember that the student had just murdered this lady's luncheon companion before her very eyes. Who could blame her for concealing a glass or two in her state of disarray? That's absurd. Oh, really? So, do we take it that you are now going to accuse this vulnerable young and beautiful woman of mischief? What? No. This can't be put down to mischief. I'd like to know exactly how the lady took the glass from the scene. Yes. It would seem that she slipped it into a small handbag she was carrying. Oh, will you look at that? A handbag. She have no way to conceal a gun. Her lies! A handbag, you say? Yes, Your Excellency. A small handheld pouch commonly carried by well-to-do women in England. So, the beautiful lady has very graciously explained how and why she removed the glass from the scene now. And we got a little slip of the tongue. She probably did not intend on concealing that information. However, the fact remains that this glass has absolutely no bearing on the case. This student has been trying to confuse the court with logical reasoning, but in the end it comes to nothing. No more pretentious accusations. You have wasted enough time already. Indeed, the lady has offered a satisfactory explanation as to why she removed his glass. I think henceforth we can consider the matter to have no bearing on the case. Counsel for the defense? Are you in agreement? No, I'm not in agreement. Well, I don't know really. If you want to pursue this matter further, I do. You're going to need to show that it has some deeper significance. Yes, you're right. She could hide the gun in that handbag. But she took the glass away in her handbag. If there's a deeper significance there, it's... Yes, the handbag itself. Wait! The lady put the glass in her handbag, you say? Yes, do try to keep up. It's already been explained to the court that all English gentlewomen carry handbags for small items. Let me see. A little while ago, Miss Bret stated the following. There are no pockets in my outfit. I have nowhere to hide a gun. But what she forgot to mention was her handbag. You got her. To which it would be perfectly possible to conceal a gun. You're right. Well done, partner. I had a feeling you'd pick up on that too. What are you insinuating, you vile blackguard? It's really very simple. The gunshot was heard when the defendant picked up the gun from the restaurant floor. As he didn't fire that gun, we can deduce there must have been another firearm at the scene. The true murder weapon, if you will. You can't seriously be suggesting... Inspector Hosonaga. Yes? What is it? Did you or did you not search Miss Jezaille Bret's handbag on the day of the murder? No, sir. I did not. As I thought. In other words, another gun, the one that was actually used to kill the professor, could have been hidden in Miss Bret's handbag, and most likely was. No! I got you. I love it. Things are heating up. Order! 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 What is the meaning of this, Inspector? The meaning of what, Prosecutor Ouchie? Why on earth did you not have the lady open her handbag and show you the contents at the time? Thanks to her bungling incompetence, or thanks to your bungling incompetence, now she has to endure these uncomfortable accusations. Brilliant work, partner. Now we have a chance to expose the real woman behind the mask. Do you think so, Kazuma? I think. Well, what a sorry situation. Clearly you have no faith in the police. No, not really. Generally I do, but not in this case. As I said, I did not search the lady's handbag after the shooting. Got a little blood on your face again, simply because it was unnecessary. Unnecessary in what way? Do tell. I ought to thank the student lawyer, really. Oh, what's he coming up with? I mean, it's very clear he's trying to throw this under the rug. It's not even subtle anymore. I have a piece of evidence here that I completely forgotten about. Oh, here we go. This photographic print. Lay it on me. This. Oh, is it like a clear handbag? Like you can see through it? There might be another compartment. Ooh, I see something. I see something on the dead guy's, on Dr. Wilson's wrist there. It looks like a bull scar or something. Interesting. The print is of a photograph that I thought would be prudent to take immediately after the shooting. As you can see, it clearly shows Miss Bret's handbag. Yes, you can see the glass inside. Well, I never. You can see right through to what's inside. That's right. Apparently, meshwork bags like these are the height of fashion in London at the moment. So the contents are clearly visible. Exactly. So there was no need to search the lady's handbag. If there had been a gun inside, it would have been immediately obvious. Ugh. As you can see, there's nothing to imply Miss Bret's guilt here. Thank you for helping me to prove that, Naruhodo-san. Look at them, look at them! They're all smug and smiling. Tee-hee! I did nothing wrong. Wah! You got this. Order! Order! Inspector Hoshinaga, you will submit that print as evidence at once. Certainly, Your Excellency. Photograph of handbag. A photograph taken by Hoshinaga-san after the incident occurred. It shows Miss Bret's handbag on a chair by the victim's table. There could very well be a hidden compartment. We can't see the whole bag. I mean, I would suggest we ask her to submit the bag itself. I'm sure she has it. And if she doesn't, that's suspicious. I think you've had long enough to cross-examine the witness, counsel. Don't give up, Ryunosuke. Let me just... I guess it's the same thing we just read. I also want to check... She should be in my court record, right? Yeah. So she's 24, a youngling. She's 1 year older than us. A British exchange student who was studying under the victim at Yume University's medical school. She's wearing a carnival mask, ironically. The court has now been shown considerable evidence. As the photographic print just submitted into the court record appears to have no further significance, I am satisfied that there is no longer any room for doubt in this matter, and I must make my ruling. Indeed, and there is only one logical conclusion. That the pathetic rookie slumped over the bench before us is the only possible perpetrator of this crime. No. Get up. Oh. I thought he was gonna get up and be like, nonsense, but no, he's crapping his pants. No. Just when I thought I was beginning to turn things around. I'm in a worse situation than I was at the start. Oh, he even looks a bit hopeless, unless he's thinking of something. Kazuma? I'm sorry, Ryunosuke. Now that the cross-examination of the witness is over, there's no way to force the trial to continue. What? You mean... this is it? Ha ha! I must say you put up quite a fight for a rookie student, but the weaker meet, while the strong eat. You are wasting your time. There is no way to defeat true justice. In fact, you can chew on to your heart's content from the inside of your cell. This can't be happening. Am I really going to be found guilty of a crime that I didn't commit? You know how it is. When things are most hopeless, that's when We have to turn things around. Kazuma. His dream of going to study in Great Britain will slip through his fingers. Things are looking bleak. Kazuma. What? Is there really no chance now of turning this trial around? You heard the judge. There's nothing about that last photograph the detective produced that we can contest. Which means there's no basis on which we can argue for the trial to continue. There's always something. There's always a way. Where there's a will, there's a way. Very well. I will now proceed immediately to the ruling. It seems you will be able to report to the British government on time after all. That smug little... Ryunosuke Naruhodo, having considered all of the evidence placed before me, I hereby find you... Oh, not so fast. There we go. Slam that desk with conviction. Wait, Your Excellency! Ryunosuke? I don't think you can rule on this case yet. Objection! This amateurishness is getting tedious. When His Excellency deems that the trial is over, he gives his ruling. That is the most basic protocol of the courtroom. Yes! Your Excellency, just a moment ago you said this. As the photographic print is submitted appears to have no further significance, there is no longer any room for doubt in this matter, and I must make my ruling. I'm not sure where you're going with this, but keep going. Now that means that if there was a problem with the evidence, some significant detail I mean, then ruling on the case at this time would be out of the question. Objection! This is a blatant straw clutching. Look at this photographic print. All it shows is the handbag the gentlewoman was carrying on the day in question. There can be no problems with this evidence. The only thing I noticed was that weird bull score, but I have no idea what that would imply. You'd better know what you're doing, Ryunosuke. Let me take another quick look at it, like the handbag itself. We do have a magnifying glass. Maybe I was supposed to... Maybe there's something in the handbag that I can't see unless I'm magnified? I don't know, there's that. I have no idea what that's supposed to be, though. Interesting. We'll just have to see where this trail leads. I understand your objection, counsel. Certainly, the new evidence submitted by the detective has not undergone the court's scrutiny. However, I fail to see how we can glean any new information from this handbag. Ha! My thought exactly! Really, the prosecution is becoming tired of this rookie's desperate wheezes. Yes, I am desperate, but this isn't a wheeze. There's something about this photograph that just doesn't seem right. If only I could put my finger on it. Very well, I will grant the defense one final opportunity. What? But we're warned that if I am unsatisfied by your response here, the trial will be over with immediate effect. I will blow up your health bar. Do I make myself clear? Yes, Your Excellency. So, take another look at the photographic print Inspector Hoshinaga submitted before. You will identify for the court where in this print we see the significant detail to which you have alluded. I'm gonna go with my gut. I have no idea what it means, but I'm gonna see if this has to do with anything. And maybe I'll feel really stupid, maybe it'll be obvious, but let's see. Yes! Look at this, here. There's a very unusual mark on the victim's wrist. That is true. It looks almost like a burn of some description. Oh. What do you think, Bret? A little on edge there? Dear me. I was pondering what new piffle you would come out with. A burn, you say, on the victim's wrist? Clearly that had nothing whatsoever to do with the magnificent lady's handbag. Yes, that is a burn mark, you're right. Okay, he's admitting it. Go on, Inspector. The police coroner also noticed it when he was performing the post-mortem examination. It was deemed unrelated to the cause of death, so he didn't note it in his report. What did I tell you? In any case, we have no idea when the victim suffered this burn, do we? and no possible way of knowing either. Again, I don't know it's supposed to be a shape of something. The more I look at it, the more I find myself intrigued by the curious shape of this mark. However, as Prosecutor Ouchie points out, unless a firm connection to the case can be shown, I cannot allow any further time to be spent on the precise details of this burn. Excuse me, Your Excellency. It would seem Miss Bret has a lunch appointment with the Dean and other student and university staff. I don't think so. Sit your butt down. Or stay there, because there's no seat. You know what I mean. Stay there. She would like to know if she may be excused from the stand now. You most certainly may not. Oh, of course, dear lady. We shan't hold you up any longer. I'm quite sure His Excellency is about to give his final ruling anyway. No, don't do it. What's your thinking on this, Ryunosuke? Do you believe this burn does have something to do with the case? To be honest, I'm not really sure. Me neither. I don't know the connection, to be honest. But if I don't keep pushing, then it's all over. So I was thinking I should keep digging and digging, in the hope that I might uncover something useful. Yes, you're right. I am? Bam! If we can just link that burn to the case. If we can do that, we might be able to prise this, shutting door back open again. Just give up, Counsel. You can't possibly hope to do that. Indeed. I'm afraid that without evidence, I can't allow you to pursue what is little more than conjecture. But if we had evidence that irrefutably linked the burn on the victim's wrist to the case, then you would allow it? I would, yes. To tell the truth, I hadn't noticed that burn. Okay, let us think. Let us think it over. Wait. Oh. That's gotta be it, right? I don't know how it's a burn. Is that like a hot plate? Oh, it might be. That looks like it might be a hot plate. So maybe they were having some argument and he like tried to hit him with that and he like blocked it with his hand or his wrist. That would make sense if that's a hot plate. But as soon as you pointed it out, what I did notice was the color draining from Miss Bret's face. Really? I have to find some link between that burn and the case. I think I just did. It looks a lot like it. Deep breath. In and out, Ryunosuke. You got this. This is the moment of truth. It's time to find some evidence that proves what that burn really means. So then, the defense will now present its evidence to the court. The evidence that demonstrates an inextricable connection between the victim's burn and this trial. I think that's my evidence. The hot plate. If that's what that is. I'm gonna go for it.
Yes!
I think we got it. What's this, Counsel? Yet another print? Yes, Your Excellency. I believe photographic prints are an amazing invention. Indeed, they're very helpful. When we humans look at a scene, we miss things. But in a photograph, things we may have overlooked at the time are recorded forevermore. Do hurry up, Rookie. What are you trying to say? To inconvenience this poor lady any further really would be quite inexcusable. Actually, we may need you to stay with us a little longer if you don't mind, Miss Bret. Oh? You see, it's very clearly visible in this other photograph. How did the victim come to have that unusually shaped burn on his wrist? The reason is recorded here forevermore. What? How?
Objection!
You can't fool me with your little bluffs, boy. If that's your game, then let's see how it plays out. Show the court exactly what you mean. What is in this photograph that explains the reason for the victim's burn? Okay. it would be right here.
Yes!
The beef steak? Actually, the point is the metal plate the steak was served on. The plate? Ah! Ah! Your Excellency, are you alright? As you can see, there's an emblem on the plate. I would guess it's some sort of trademark of Le Carnaval. Oh, there you got. Caught you off guard, did I? Or maybe he wasn't even aware. This emblem on the plate and the victim's burn are exactly the same shape. Ah! Vianosuke, you genius. You're spot on. Which means the victim must have suffered this burn while he was present at the restaurant. And who was at the table with him? But even if that is the case, we can't know if it happened on the day in question or not. It could have been the day before, or the day before that, and most likely happened some other unrelated time. Well,
Objection!
Sadly, Prosecutor Ouchie, the chances of that are extremely slim. Thanks. Buddy. Why? The outline of the burn is clearly discernible. Such a serious injury would have caused quite a commotion in the restaurant. I'm gonna point that finger at you. Wouldn't you agree, Inspector Hosonaga? Indeed. I can't imagine having missed such a terrible disaster. Certainly. It's all coming together. But... bleh. I would say, looking at the picture of the wound, that it wasn't suffered very long ago. And, although it's not a particularly large burn, it's extremely well defined, as the defense just pointed out. This was no mild burn, that's for sure. Can you be more specific, Inspector? Well, let's see. If the plate was at around 90 degrees centigrade, a burn like that would have been taken around 3 seconds. Ooh, 3 seconds? So that's been pressed against him. It's inconceivable that the victim wouldn't have let out a scream of pain then. I've been investigating at the restaurant for several weeks already, but I've not heard anyone scream at all. Is the head waiter of La Carnaval? I can testify to that without hesitation. But you're a detective, not a waiter! Okay.
Yes!
Okay. There you have it. Something isn't right here. As the detective said, anyone who burnt themselves on a piping hot plate for 3 whole seconds would scream in pain. There's no question of that. And yet Inspector Hosonaga never heard the professor scream. Not on that day, or any before it. That's right. And the strange thing is, on the day he was shot, I didn't hear him cry out either. Interesting. So he got that scar he had to have gotten it there, but not on that day? Was he there at some other time where he got that scar? What are you suggesting? Well, if the professor had carelessly laid his wrist on the plate for anything like 3 seconds that day, that would be beyond careless, I think, Counsel. Yeah, I don't think that would even be possible. Like, the moment you felt the hot burn, you would instinctively go, ouch, ow, and lift your hand. You wouldn't just sit there, 3 seconds and then scream in pain. Then the rest of us in the restaurant, myself, the sergeant, and the old antiques dealer, all of us would, without any question, have heard him scream. Wouldn't you agree, Prosecutor Ouchie? Well, yes, I suppose. So, the question is, why didn't a single person hear Dr. Wilson scream? I almost don't believe it, Ryunosuke. Do you think he got that burn on a completely different day? Can it really be true? I never dreamt we'd arrive at a conclusion like this, but I'm starting to think that maybe we've been led into a terrible trap. I didn't know the specifics, but I also had implied that maybe I don't know how this would have happened, but maybe he was killed on a different day or something. Like maybe a gunshot rang out, maybe that didn't kill him, and then he was killed later. It couldn't have been before, because Ryunosuke actually talked with him. So maybe he was killed after the incident in the restaurant. But he saw the body, right? I'm confused. Let's keep going. There's only one explanation I can think of to make sense to this apparent impossibility. Either way, I think he must have gotten the burn maybe on a different day. On the day in question, when he suffered the burn to his wrist, Dr. Wilson... Yes, was already deceased. Yeah, no, none of these make sense. Was already deceased. I don't know the specifics. I'm a little confused, but that's what I love about this. It'll all come together. No man could remain silent while his wrist was burning on a piping hot plate for 3 whole seconds. Oh, maybe. Oh, so maybe what could have maybe happened is maybe he was killed, and then maybe he slumped over onto the table. Although the picture shows he was like slumped over in his chair, but maybe he was moved. Maybe his body was moved. Maybe he like slumped into the chair and his wrist fell on the hot plate. Counsel, are you suggesting? Yes, it's only possible if the man was already dead. Already dead? Oh? Knowing what we know now, it's the only possible explanation. When the beefsteak was brought to Dr. Wilson's table that day, the professor was already dead. Oh, interesting. That's madness! What does it mean, though? Order! Order! Order, please! Counsel, explain this absurd notion at once. The victim was killed by a gunshot. That's right! That's absolutely right, Your Excellency. Or implying the gun was a red herring and that... Oh, that would make sense. The gunshot could have been a red herring, and that could have solely been to incriminate Ryunosuke because he had a gun. He picked up the gun. But maybe he was killed some other way? And maybe the gunshot wound was staged? This is just another ridiculous ploy by the rookie student, but clearly he has no grasp of the facts.
Objection!
No, Prosecutor Ouchie. It's you who has no grasp of the facts. I beg your pardon? As soon as it became apparent that the victim had suffered that burn while at the restaurant, this whole case was turned upside down. Or have you not grasped that yet? Your Excellency, the court must hear from this witness again. If it's true, as we now believe, that the victim was already dead before the gunshot was heard, it's highly likely that Miss Bret knows something about it. Incredible! I certainly didn't anticipate this twist of events. I'm sorry to say, Miss Bret, that you will have to forget your luncheon engagement. But, Your Excellency! The justice system in our country may be in its infancy, but rest assured all reasonable doubt must be dispelled before I am prepared to pass judgment. Thank you, Your Excellency. Okay. Let's see. Teehee. What was that smile? Yes, of course. I mean, I'd be delighted to help. Especially if it helps relations between my country and yours. Aha! She has been faking! Faker! I had wondered about that if she was really, you know, faking this whole time. What? Huh? Miss Bret, you speak Japanese? Well, of course I do. I am studying in your country after all. But then, why have you been speaking through an interpreter until now? My mother tongue, the Queen's English, is the most refined and elegant language in the world. As a gentlewoman, I try to avoid speaking in your vulgar tones as much as possible. Oh, a bit snooty, that one. But it seems the men in this land possess none of the chivalrous virtues of English gentlemen, so I can see that I shall have to lower myself to communicating with you all on your own level. Oh, well, you are the epitome of a true English gentlewoman. We are truly honored by this lavish consideration you so greatly afford us. I see. In that case, Miss Bret, I will now ask you to testify in your own words about the events leading up to the death of the victim, Dr. Wilson. So we're finally going to hear her own words on the matter. Things are getting interesting, Ryunosuke. Time for another testimony. We haven't had one since the first one in this video. The victim's death. Unfortunately, I have no idea when the poor man burnt his wrist like that. When the waiter brought my steak, the professor and I raised our glasses in a toast. As far as I've heard, the post-mortem report showed no other possible cause of death besides the gunshot. If there's some other way a man's life can be taken without leaving a trace, please, do show me. But of course, this country's inferior investigative techniques probably wouldn't pick up on it anyway. Ooh. She's a bit of a B. The most captivating and beautiful testimony will go down into the Supreme Court's history, thank you. Oh man, you judge the simp. Easy does it. I hope that is the last time I'll have to sully my lips with the coarse tones of your unbecoming language. Oh, forgive me. I do hope I haven't insulted anyone. Consider us all insulted. Well, me anyway. Not at all, not at all. It is a delight merely to hear you speak, dear lady. And it seems very clear from your testimony that this boorish talk of the victim's burn is utterly irrelevant. I will be speaking to your country's Minister of Justice about what has happened here today. The Minister of Justice? May the irritating little bully of a student be given the harshest punishment possible. She's using the relations against us. Amen. Laying it on a bit thick there. Thanks? Was that a prayer then? Well, you'll have to forgive the irritation, Miss Bret. Put up with the cross-examination now. I expect you've noticed that this little bully of a student, as you put it, doesn't miss much. I'm sure I don't need to remind you, counsel, that this will be your final cross-examination in this trial. If you fail to demonstrate any problems with this witness's testimony, I will be ruling on the case immediately. Is that clear? Smack! Wake up, Ryunosuke, it's time. Yes, Your Excellency. I got this. Then you may proceed with the cross-examination. Okay, seems like we are getting close to the end here. These are quite long. I'm debating whether each of these sections, like I haven't even finished editing the first video yet, I'm debating whether each of these sections I should split into 2 episodes or just have them be one really long one. I have to figure it out. I will say my voice is holding up a lot better this time. We're already almost an hour and a half in and I'm feeling fine. Okay, so I have no idea what the poor man burnt his wrist like that. When the waiter brought my steak, the professor and I raised our glasses in a toast. As far as I've heard, the post-mortem report showed no other possible cause of death besides the gunshot. If there's some other way a man's life can be taken without leaving a trace, please do show me. But of course, this country's inferior investigative techniques probably wouldn't pick up on it anyway. Okay, I have a thought. Poison? We know that they drink. We know that the professor could only drink water. She took the glass away. There's probably traces of poison in it. I'm also wondering if the blood, the coughing and the blood I don't know why he'd be coughing and bleeding. Maybe he accidentally drank some of it. I wonder if that's tied. Let me read the report. Did it say anything about like vomiting blood or anything? Okay, single fire, bullet fired at close range, fatal hemorrhage from pectoral ballistic trauma, no exit wound. Bullet did not pass through the body. Fatal hemorrhage. I mean, that could be from poison. From pectoral ballistic trauma. I'm not sure if that's implying. Okay, let's press her on this. Oh wait, this one.
Yes!
Yes! Without leaving a trace? If someone is shot or strangled or stabbed or thrown from a height, however a person's life is taken, there are always telltale traces on the body. Quite right, dear lady. And as our police force has thoroughly examined the body of the deceased, there can be no doubt. Isn't that right, Inspector Hosonaga? As I've said, I've always aimed for a flawless investigation. There would be physical traces with all those causes of death, that's true. But maybe there's some other way of killing someone that doesn't leave a mark. If, heaven forbid, you doubt me, young man, you're going to have to tell everyone how exactly you think the professor did lose his life. Otherwise, I'm afraid your argument falls rather flat, doesn't it? Oh no, perish the thought, calling such a sweet young lady's innocence into question. On my honor, Takatsuchi Ouchi will cut down any who dare cast such aspersions. A way of killing someone that leaves no trace. We need some evidence to back us up here. Yes, evidence. I don't know if I have it. The only thing that I could think of is this. I mean, a fatal hemorrhage? I have all my health still, so I'm gonna try this.
Yes!
Nope, that's not it. That statement contradicts the facts demonstrated by the evidence. As far as I can tell, there is nothing untoward about this evidence. Yeah, I didn't think so. But that... Pull yourself together. You look as though your eyes are about to pop out of your head. Boom goes your health bar. I can't help that, just my luck. I don't know, so let's try pressing her around some more and see if she... Let's go back to the beginning, I guess. Just press her...
Yes!
But his hand was on the searing hot plate for at least 3 whole seconds. You can't not have noticed. Do you think so? Let me ask you something. Sorry? Ever since I arrived at this courtroom, and even still now, the fly in those unsightly black trousers of yours has been wide open. Oh, I'll take care of that, sorry. You can't not have noticed, can you? Huh? What? Ow! Oh, look at that look. Haha, what fun. You hadn't realized. I guess she said that in English. The dear lady is absolutely right. As your friend, are you embarrassed me as well as yourself, Ryunosuke? Why didn't you tell me? Dr. Wilson was a true English gentleman. He chose honorable silence over a vulgar scream. Can your tiny brains imagine such a thing? Oh yes, I think my tiny brain can. Well, I can't. Anyway. Okay. We learned nothing except that my fly was open. Okay.
Yes!
As you testified before, you were drinking carbonated water, is that right? Dr. Wilson was only permitted to drink water at that time, if you remember. Which explains why he ordered that drink. Correct, waiter? Exactly as you say, sir. Although, whether or not the professor actually drank any of the water when I deliver the steak to the table? I'm afraid I don't remember that. Damn you. I have enough English to understand that at least. For the benefit of others in the court, it means bless you. Yes, that's exactly what she said. I think it means the exact opposite. Anyway, As far as I've heard... Okay, wait, I don't have to read that. Okay.
Yes!
This might be what we have to press. Yes, it's written here in the paperwork. Fatal hemorrhage from ballistic trauma. Yes. Luckily for all of us, a little burn on the wrist isn't going to kill us. And as there were no other signs of trauma on the victim's body to indicate some other cause of death, it can only have been from the bullet from your gun that put an end to this innocent man's life. But if he was poisoned, it wouldn't leave any marks on the outside. I mean, it could, but in this case, maybe not. But it doesn't make sense. The burn must have happened straight away, when the plate was first brought to the table by the waiter. Yes, that's true. If it had cooled even slightly, it wouldn't have been able to make a burn like that. And if the victim burnt his wrist on the hot plate as soon as it was brought out from the kitchen, then he must already have been dead at that point. And yet, the fact is that the victim was killed by a gunshot to the chest. Until you're able to show the court evidence to disprove that, it was a complete waste of time. This is a complete waste of time. I concur. Prosecutor Ouchie is right. Okay, there's only one thing to do. Only one more left.
Yes!
I don't think this has anything to do with anything. Inferior? What do you mean by that? In the lands of the Great British Empire, the police store everything found at the crime scene for later examination. But in this country, you investigate once, and that's the end of it. Isn't that so? Quite right. La Carnival is open for business as usual. Today, just days after the incident. Exactly. Which means that even if the investigation takes a different direction, vital evidence may be lost. Hey there. Mind if we examine you? I think I'm onto something. It doesn't even occur to your naive detective to try to preserve the crime scene. I'm trying to be as tactful about it as I can. You understand? Ha! Killer blow. The lady is as formidable as he is beautiful. Amazing. He's actually admitting our police may be flawed. Perhaps Prosecutor Ouchie is finally starting to see sense. I very much doubt that. Still, there's something about what Ms. Bret just said. There was a moment before when something didn't seem quite right. What do you think, Ryunosuke? I think it's going terribly. No matter how much I press her, I'm not turning up any new information. Yes, as I suspected. She's a tough witness. We need to find a way to break her testimony or the cross-examination will be over. But that would mean I have to find a way. There must be some clue somewhere to help us find a chink in her armor. Kazuma. Oh, that was me. Kazuma. What, Ryunosuke? There is one thing I noticed. Something that's been bothering me. Bothering you? You mean about Miss Bret? No, I think about him. Actually, no. About the person standing next to her. Inspector Hosonaga. The detective. Yes, he seemed to react a little strangely to Miss Bret's last statement. I was wondering if it might be significant. If it might present an opening, maybe. Alright, I have an idea. Try pressing her on that last statement one more time. If you think so, but this time, instead of targeting the woman herself, let's see what we can get out of the detective. Alright then. I wonder what Kazuma's thinking. I'll find out soon enough, I suppose, once I press Miss Bret on her last statement again. So this one, right?
Yes!
Inferior? What do you mean by that? Okay, this is... We read this, right? Did I have to, like... There we go. Okay. Yes, there it is again. The detective's reaction is just the same as before. Why? Up until now, the detective has been in the stand with Miss Bret as her interpreter. But things are very different now. For this testimony, the detective is just listening to what the English woman has to say. This could be a golden opportunity. What do you mean? When people are actually testifying, they're usually very careful not to let anything slip. However, when they're listening to someone else speak, you'll find they've often let their guard down. You're right. Look at him, he's lost in his own thoughts. It's time to pursue the man in this train of thought. Sorry? Pursue? I'll explain how to do it now, Ryunosuke. We have another tutorial coming up. It's all to do with the witness marker. What marker? You talking about the little dot bubble? At the moment, we're focused on Miss Bret, who's the person actually making the current statement. But by moving the marker left and right, with left and right, you can turn your attention to other people in the stand. I had a feeling there must have been some kind of gameplay mechanic involving this, because it would have been weird if having two witnesses works the same way as one. While you're looking at the other witnesses, you'll be able to pursue them with X. If you can catch the person at just the right time, you might uncover some new information to pursue. If you ever notice a strange atmosphere among the people on the stand, take a good look around. Alright then, so first I should move the marker across with left and right and focus on the detective. Then pursue him with X and see what's on his mind. Here we go. Exactly, which means that even if the investigation takes a different direction, vital evidence may be lost. Okay, so I go... There we go. Let's pursue.
Excuse me.
Excuse me. Yeah! What the? What's the meaning of this? I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to shock you. He really was lost in his thoughts. Deeply. It looked like you were thinking something just now, Inspector. Perhaps having heard what the lady next to you had to say. If there's something you'd like to say, please, share it with the court.
Objection!
What is the meaning of this? Sweating there? It's the delightful English woman who's testifying at the moment. If you can't find fault with her testimony, then the cross-examination should be over immediately. Oh, is that how it works? I don't think so. Absolutely not. The detective is in the stand, which means him a valid witness. Yes, not to mention the fact that he's intimately involved in the case. Inspector Hosonaga? Yes? Do you have something to add in relation to the statement just made by Miss Bret? What do you got to say for yourself? Well, yes, if you don't mind. I would like to speak. Ooh. Like I said, I think that blood coming from his mouth is very telling of what might be the cause of death. The lady is right. Our country's police practices are not as modern as they used in Great Britain. Which is why I, Satoru Hosonaga, always strive to make every investigation I'm involved in flawless. What do you really mean by that? I'll tell you what I mean. I won't have evidence lacking on my watch. I'm not afraid to take everything I can from the scene of the crime. It's preserving evidence, you see. I don't care if they call me a crime scene thief. I'm not ashamed of what I've done. A crime scene thief? Well, it looks like the lady's remarks touched a nerve there. Take this, for example. Oh, she's probably sweating now. Is that... This is the bottle of carbonated water that I took to the victim's table on the day in question. And yes, it's lost all of its fizz, having been opened 3 days ago now. But it was carbonated water. I don't care what anyone says. Yes. There's some left in the bottle, I can see it. One day our police force will be among the best in the world. The time is coming, I guarantee it. You might want to go see a doctor after the trial. I can't say I condone the witness's actions, but I do understand the sentiment. The court will accept the glass bottle of water as evidence. Okay, carbonated water bottle. The carbonated water the victim and Miss Bret shared on the day of the murder. It was on the victim's table. Miss Bret? Now let's see, can I examine this closely? Okay, let's see the label. Maybe the... want to see if you can see anything inside. Not really. Like traces of powder or something. I can only see the label, so let's examine the label, I guess. The label is written in a foreign language that I don't recognize. Probably English? Maybe. Do you know what it says, Cosima? I think it's French. Oh, French. This must be very expensive water. Yes, but what does it say? That's what I was asking. Then go to France and ask. I am not French. You could just say that you don't know. Okay, anything else on here? Oh, wait. I mean, that's just the label again? Or... So this carbonated water is the last drink Dr. Wilson ever had. It looks like there's a little left in the bottle, although it's just plain water now. You know, I've been sweating so much, I'm absolutely parched. I'll just have a sip of this to keep me going. No. No, Ryunosuke, you can't do that. For one thing, that's evidence. You can't go drinking evidence, you idiot. Oh no, you're right. You don't know what might be inside, do we? You never cease to amaze me, Ryunosuke. In more ways than one. Yeah, that's not a very smart move. I wonder... Could there be anything in this water? What's the matter? You've gone quite quiet all of a sudden. I think I might have just worked something out. An interesting possibility. Ooh. The plot thickens. So I'm assuming that's what we needed to find. Okay. It didn't update the evidence or anything, right? Okay, but I think I know where you're going with this. Miss Bret? Can you confirm this is indeed the bottle from which you drank on the day of the victim's death? Yes, it was that bottle. What was that about? She seemed to avert her eyes when she answered the judge's question. I really want to see her lose her composure. That always happens. Very well. Counsel, you may resume the cross-examination. And the inspector will kindly control his fervor. Unfortunately, I have no idea whether the poor man burnt his wrist like that. Okay, so I think we're gonna do... I forgot that was all still part of this cross-examination. If there's some other way a man's life can be taken without leaving a trace, please do show me. Okay, I think we're gonna present... this.
Yes!
Gotcha! What is this? The bottle of water? Actually, there is one method of killing a man without leaving a trace that comes to mind. Obviously, I'm referring to poison. Poison? On the day of his death, we know that Dr. Wilson drank from this bottle of carbonated water. Could it be that there was poison inside? Could it be that the professor actually died after taking a sip from his glass? Ooh, very possible. Order, order, order! Again, it would explain why she took the glass away. There could be traces of poison. And on that day, who was sitting at the same table as the professor and able to slip the poison into his drink? There's only one person who could possibly have done it. Jezaille Bret, it was you!
Objection!
This is outrageous, to suggest such a thing without a scrap of evidence. You little rookie imbecile! Have you ever considered the delicate situation our country finds itself in now? I don't care. Have you forgotten that we have only just signed an accord of friendship with the British Empire? Have you ever in the vaguest inkling that your rash accusations could jeopardize the entire treaty?
Objection!
Not my problem. This is not a political arena. This is a trial to determine one individual's guilt with respect to one crime. What? The fact that this woman is British makes no difference. We are here to determine the truth. Grr. Ahem. If I may, I will silence you forever for this disgraceful attack on the... Oh, there we go. The claws are coming out. It is you who should be silent. Of course. Dear lady! Where did that come from? She just snapped. I'm afraid I may have spoken unfairly before. I offer my most humble apologies. I'm sorry, my lady. To what are you referring? I describe your police force as inferior. But no matter how inferior they may be, you still investigated this particular point thoroughly, I believe. The bottle, I mean, Inspector, and whether it contained poison or not. Of course. You did? Have you forgotten what my guiding principle is already? I strive for a flawless investigation every time. I don't believe it. Naturally, we tested the inside of the bottle and its contents. And? What did you find, Inspector? I ordered tests for every toxin that's available in this country at the present time. You could find no trace of poison of any description in the bottle of carbonated water, Your Excellency. What? Are you sure? The tests were meticulously carried out by the Chief Coroner himself. No. No! I'm very grateful to all you Japanese. You've successfully established my complete innocence in this horrid affair. Thank you. But of course, dear lady, the pleasure was all ours. I was so sure. This can't be right. Everything falls into place if he was poisoned. Thank you, Counsel. I think the cross-examination has clarified everything. As the prosecution have asserted, a shot to the chest from this gun is the only conceivable cause of death. Furthermore, the accused, who by his own admission was holding this weapon, is the only possible culprit. Done for. The court wishes to apologize for the great inconvenience this has caused you, Miss Bret. Oh no, I'm just glad the matter is resolved. Before proceeding, I must ask the counsel for the defense. Do you have any further new evidence to present the court at this point? We gotta have something. There's gotta be something. There always is. Kazuma? Doesn't look good. I'm sorry, Ryunosuke. I have nothing more. Well, if you'll excuse me now, I really must be leaving.
Hold it!
Who is that? Oh, it's her! Please, wait. Isn't that... What is the meaning of this? Forgive me for intruding on court proceedings, Your Excellency. Susato Mikotaba, Judicial Assistant to the Defense. Oh, okay. Mikotaba? In my darkest hour, with nowhere left to go, she appeared like a bolt of lightning. And in her hand, she carried a small package wrapped in a furoshiki cloth. My savior! Oh, there we go. Okay. I honestly thought that this was going to take us to the end of the trial. We are definitely going to save. Okay, guys. Let me wait. Okay, guys. Things are heating up. Ooh, man. Oh, man. It's so great to be back into a Phoenix Wright game. Yeah, so I was right about the poison, I'm sure. I do think... I don't know how the poison is just completely gone unless the police chief covered that up as well. I do think the blood that the coughing and the blood that must have something to do with it. Like, he must have drank some, maybe not knowing there was poison in it. He took the bottle from the scene and just was like, I'm kind of like Ryohodo almost just tried to do, like, I'm thirsty, there's a bottle here, I'll just take a quick sip or something. And now maybe he got a small amount of it. I don't know if he's gonna, like, pass out and die or something. That would be kind of morbid. But this is a Phoenix Wright game. So, maybe it's just he got a small trace of it, because there's only a small trace left, and maybe so it's making him sick. I don't know. And now this, I already forgot her name, but this girl, she's I have a feeling she's gonna be our Maya for this game, maybe. Once we get later on, she might be our actual assistant in the game. That's what I have a feeling. But either way, I'm excited to see what decisive evidence she has to bring. Something to do, I guess, to prove that there was poison at the scene. Oh man, but this is so much fun, and I'm having a blast. I hope you guys are enjoying it as much as watching this as I am playing it. So thank you guys so much for watching. Go ahead and like the video, and subscribe. Share the video, hit the notification bell rather, so that you know when I upload more of this game or any other series. And as always, take care and bye-bye.